Welcome everybody to another edition of MCR. This will be the last MCR for a month. We will not be picking this back up until November 11th. You are all going to be joining me on Sabbatical. I will be posting throughout my sabbatical on LinkedIn, not every single day, especially when I'm in Japan. But I'll try to get some stuff out there as well so you can join me along. Matt, thank you again for joining me today. How are you doing?
I'm great. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me. I have no idea what we're talking about today. I'm going to guess it has something to do with Unbound debrief, but we haven't talked at all. So happy to be here.
Yeah, I guess I didn't kind of cue you in, which is pretty typical. Basically, what we're going to be doing today for everybody is we are going to unpack Unbound. I made a list, but we will go through and show some things. I didn't bring anything up yet, but we'll be talking about it. For those of you that were at Unbound, it was a pleasure seeing you all in person. Yes, I did snag Matt his very own t-shirt. He'll be getting that later this month. But thank you all for joining us, whoever went to Unbound. Appreciate all of you coming up and saying hi. I will have one ask from all of you, and I didn't do it while I was there. I know I missed the mark because I didn't think about it. I would have loved to video interview you all that are listeners of the channel. So what I will request is there'll be a post coming up. Some of you are tagged in it. I didn't want to tag everybody in here. What I would love to know is there's some questions and what MCR has impacted you all. Would love for you to post that definitely on LinkedIn. So some of you will be tagged in the post. If not, feel free to find me on LinkedIn and comment. That would be very appreciative as well. But again, appreciate every single one of you and love that you all enjoyed the shirts. Hopefully you are going to wear them at some point and give us feedback. And I guess that's another question. If you want, feel free to take a picture of you wearing the shirt and post them on LinkedIn and tag us as well. Yes, ton of swag. Look at that. Definitely got a lot there, Liz. But all right, so let's move on. The keynote, I will say, let me fill you in, Matt. The keynote of Unbound, I was so energized yesterday talking to folks about it in the office, by the way. The keynote at Unbound was it was different than any keynote you would typically see. So the first day was an interactive keynote. Now, typically, when you go to other places, it's more of like a product release, and then that's pretty much it, right? And then you go to like lunch or whatever, right? This one was more interactive where they had, I forget his name, one of the people from Disney, someone will probably put it in the chat. And it was more interactive. It was talking about innovation and how to be creative. And my key takeaway of that was they did an exercise where they had us basically I think it was planning a party or something like that, or plan something extravagant. And instead of saying no, right? So I'd bring an idea to you, Matt. Okay, so let's say this: we're planning a party for ATG, right? I would start by saying we're gonna. I'll do the same one we did, Julie. We're gonna fly to Hawaii, and then you go, Matt. What else would we do? Instead of saying no, you're gonna say and blank something.
And we will find the beach.
And we will go to the Jurassic Park place.
And we will ride ATVs while we're there.
See, so you're creating a more advantageous, more inventive, more out of the box thinking, and it's getting more extravagant, right? Versus like shutting down an idea and saying, no, we can't do something. That was one of the biggest takeaways from that. The other one was a dual athlete. I was talking to Vince about this in understanding where the industry is going. One of the key takeaways was by 2031, 41% of our industry will either be retiring or leaving. That's huge, right?
When you say our industry, is that AEC, or is that technical
A,
folk? Like what is our industry?
they labeled it as AEC industry, the AECO industry. They said our industry, who we were there
Okay.
for. Um,
41% by 2031, so in 6 years.
yes, in 6 years.
Wow. Yikes.
So that's a huge turning point, right? Like the innovation of AI, is that going to replace it? Are we going to? Oh, thanks, George. Duncan Wardle. Yeah, Duncan Wardle from Disney was one of the best speakers. I need to take some notes from him. He got in the crowd. He was very interactive. But
Hmm.
we'll return back to this part. I wish they recorded that because that was one of the best keynotes I think I've ever been to, where it was more impactful about how to be creative and innovative, right? He said he sat in a room and created, I don't know, what was it, six, like Toy Story, some other things in, what was it, 3 or 6 hours, one of those two.
So
Um,
did he do this with the crowd and like anyone could yell back and blah blah blah?
he grabbed people. So he did Star Wars themed one where he was like, let's talk about planning a Star Wars themed party, right? And instead of saying no, right, like you would typically receive in a conversation of trying to plan
Mhm.
something, he would say you would build. So instead of like shutting it down and making the idea become smaller and less impactful, it was about building it, making it more extravagant, right? That was the idea. So like
Hmm.
thinking about innovation in a business facet, you're no longer just stuck to a no and creating that idea to be smaller, and less thinking outside the box. It was more of and you continue, right? You push the boundary of what it was. It's very impactful. Duncan's previous keynotes are on YouTube. Yeah, it's probably on a TED Talk, pretty similar. Okay, that's a good idea, Liz, to go and check on YouTube. But yeah, so 41% of the industry will be retiring or leaving. And that's kind of this dual agent thought process to myself, kind of how it coincides is a dual agent is not only so it's two parts, our experience in the industry, right? You can't get rid of that. That's very impactful. We need that. And then the other part is understanding how AI is going to impact that, right? I think by 2031, if 40%, 41% of the industry does leave, then is AI going to replace that part, right? Because we don't have enough backfill. And how do we innovate to impact that part of the industry, right? So your your best, I think the best way to encourage that is to embrace that part of the industry versus be afraid of that part of the industry, right? AI will not work if we don't have that second part of the dual agent, which is the knowledge, right? Which comes from data, comes from folks like everyone listening in, um, the keynotes, the conversations, the understanding where the industry is going was definitely transformative for me. Okay, so with that, updates.
So
Have
obviously in the next 6 years, there's going to be a bunch of new people too, right? So we're not
yes,
replacing 41%, we're replacing 15. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, I would agree. They made a stark comment that what was it, Gen Xers? Am I Gen X? No,
I'm
I'm
in
Gen
Gen X.
Z. Okay, what's the gen below me?
Millennial, I think, or are you millennial? I think you're a
I'm
millennial.
a
Yeah,
millennial.
right.
So whatever the generation is below me, um, doesn't want to work in the industry as it is. So the assumption that it will replace it, yes, of course. Not, but how great of a percent? I would probably say, yeah, Gen Y is probably not large enough because we're not making it as enticing to join with this AI innovation and where we're going, right? So at some point, hopefully, right, we change that. You and I
Huh.
change that. People listening in change that. Um, but yeah, okay. So I took some notes. I'll go to Bluebeam and see if they launched anything on their website to have some pictures.
There we go. Here's a good diagram. Thanks, Liz.
Oh, did you take a picture, Liz? Oh, this is just
No,
the.
of the generations.
Yeah, so Gen Z, that's what it was. Gen Z.
Okay, so Gen
not
Y and
Alpha.
Millennial is the same thing. Oh, Gen Z is a Zoomer. I've never heard of that. I guess that's
Yeah,
a
me
play on
neither.
Boomer. I guess not.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, so basically Gen Z doesn't want to work for our the generation that's currently in place. So, and that could be from innovation, it could be from and they want to work, I would say, majority for themselves at this point. So
A good thing. So they're all pioneers. They're all
correct.
entrepreneurs. Hard to say, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And then let's see. So I'm trying to go to the website. Don't worry, we're going to get to the product updates and see if they had anything posted about that. But I will show. This is going to tie nice. Except all these cookies. I guess they didn't post it on here. It was released on LinkedIn. Let me go there. I liked it. It was based on their new AI agent, which is going to tie into Go Canvas. The license tiers access, because we'll talk about pricing, except the one thing we won't talk about pricing will be the max cost, which some of us know about that, some of us don't know about that. Let's see, what did they just post? See all posts. They're, of course, yeah. So they released an AI. Well, let's start at the top. Let's organize this because I'm going to post notes about this in the chat. Okay, so let's start at the top. What was released? Where do you want to start, Matt? Do you want me to start exactly how they started, or do you want me to list things out? So there were integration announcements, there were new product updates, and there was a new product launched. And what's in that new product? Which one do you want to start with?
Are you looking at something on the screen? No?
We'll have a list that I can't really... Can I show this?
Up to you.
Yeah. I guess I'll show this.
I'm a visual person, so
I know
the product launch sounds good. So does the in order you received it, or if I can look at a picture, even better.
Okay. So you have product, which is Bluebeam Max. You have integrations, which is here. And then you have new product updates.
Where's the pictures?
There is no pictures. But there is, like, this will be like talking about the pricing. So this is the new AI feature for Go Canvas, but we'll get to that when we go through that. So, because I went to Bluebeam's website, but they didn't have anything crazy in here. I wonder if okay, just announced, powered by Get Updates. Okay, here we go. Cool. We have some pictures.
Yeah, good.
Okay, so let's start with Bluebeam.
Look at that. Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, now you can watch that while I talk about it. Okay. So, Bluebeam Max. Bluebeam Max will be a new license tier. So remember, they had basic, core, or complete. Max will be the highest tier that they offer. So it will have updates like the Anthropic integration. So this is like ChatGPT, Matt, but it's from Anthropic and it's called Claude, and it will directly integrate. I'm surprised they don't let you let me see this in a larger view.
You could do your control scroll.
That's what I'm doing right now. Oh, so you can essentially have commands that will run things in Revu for you, like search for all of the labs and create a count for them, right? Or do a code check. So this was something I was talking about before. I knew this was coming out. It was AI-driven, task-based, but it can be more than that. So essentially what you'll be able to do, if you have the max license tier, You can pay for a license of Anthropic, their Claude. It's like $20 a month. This is as much as ChatGPT. So with that, you will then have the ability to do things in Review or create custom stamps. You can have it verify. You could have it do code checks. You could have it change in capitalized text. You can have it compare changes between different documents. You can have it go through and analyze your markup data. Basically, what Bluebeam did is it opened up its connectors and converted them into MCPs. So MCPs are the bedrock of what allows it to connect into Claude. It could theoretically connect into what's called Copilot, or it could connect into ChatGPT. They just don't have MCPs yet. And I forget what the
beta out there today to play with?
Yeah, so you can get you can register for the beta program. So if you want access to it, you can go through and do that. They gave us special codes while we were at Unbound. So be aware if you go to Unbound in the future with the amount of things that they're launching, because Review is no longer just a PDF solution, Bluebeam isn't at least, be aware you get early access. They gave early access to everybody there. You just took a screenshot of the QR code. Well, you actually just clicked the picture and then you were able to register. So that's another reason why you want to go in the future. Okay, back to this. Yes, you can. You can go down here and click that to get early access. But again, the ability to essentially ask Claude to do tasks for you is just the starting point. You can really think outside the box in new workflows. We were talking about creating custom stamps directly using Claude. So instead of having to figure out how to do it or understand JavaScript, it could essentially create it for you.
Wow.
Yes.
That takes the fun out of it for some folks like Liz, right?
Yeah. I mean, some folks will probably still do it, but verify. But think about like cost estimating, going through and wanting to verify or cost estimate different locations, or maybe change out all of these different markups to something over here, right? So you can essentially have your chat agent do your tasks for you. Again, just that ability to streamline a process that took you something for like an hour or 2 hours, and just Claude will do it for you.
Cool. So now, I mean, obviously this is pretty much exactly like Autodesk Assistant.
Basically.
For Bluebeam. It's ChatGPT in the platform.
In the platform, yeah. I don't know what that solution's assistant is like, right? Because this is an open source LLM. I don't know if that's like a natural language model, if theirs is, or like a closed loop. See, that would be one thing.
I believe it's an LLM. Are there different flavors of that?
Depending on if it's open source. Large language models usually use the internet, so I don't know if that's what they use or not. So.
Oh, okay, then it's not, because it's looking at your data that you have in there.
Yeah. So it's probably a natural language model. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm out above my skis right now. Just guessing.
Then there's this, which is the integration between Revit. I don't know why it says this, because this isn't this picture. There is an integration between, well, we won't go to this yet. Let me see. Revit integration is part of Max. So this actually does require Max. So we will go to this. Live markup data between Revit and Bluebeam.
Whoa.
This is okay. So when we did MCR Live, most questions weren't around this, which I was very intrigued about this. They were all around this. So the ability to have live markup data from a PDF in a 3D view and also a 2D view.
So we could have both of these open, connect them like this. We could have Claude open here, Autodesk Assistant open here. Then we're talking with two people and we can see if they agree with each other and get a three-way conversation going with all of them.
You could. Yeah. Definitely. It could be something like that. Basically, you'll be able to have someone running even in a studio session. That's kind of what it's shown here, this little icon. You'll be able to have markups that link directly into a Revit model, and they live update. So you could do status changes. This looks exactly like the cloud markups list. So Bluebeam Cloud or Web for you folks. That's what this looks like. And essentially, you'll be able to get all of your markup data directly in Revit. So that was a huge.
Is this ready today, a beta?
I didn't ask for beta access to this. I don't believe it's ready until you get access to Max. Okay. So I didn't ask the date on this one, and I don't know why. The Revit engagement was huge. Yeah, I was blown away how many folks really were excited about this more so than the AI integration. Yeah, they said Q1. Okay. Let's see. Yes, everyone asked me about the pricing of Max. I asked everybody there. No one knows the pricing of Max. They are going to announce that Q1.
What was that $20 a month you were referring to earlier? What was that?
That was access to Claude. You're paying a subscription cost to Claude. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you use Claude outside of Bluebeam too?
Yeah, you could use it essentially as ChatGPT. I use it to create video packages for for Canva. So Canva's like, digital art creation, I guess you would say, right? So when I'm making videos and I need a piece of AI art created, I can actually ask Claude to do it for me. It has an MCP connection into Canva. So it will go into Canva, create the little add-in, and then give you a result. So it'll do your tasks for you.
Could Claude essentially replace Chad with the additional functionality being able to plug into Bluebeam?
It could, yes. You pick your flavor of what LLM you like, right? Just like Copilot could essentially.
I thought Copilot was stuck in Microsoft. Can you access it just like Chad?
I don't know.
Okay.
But Anthropic is definitely the same because I have both, right? But Anthropic is more built towards it'll build you custom dashboards in it to create graphics, which is pretty cool. It'll do JavaScript and show you the full script run of everything you need to from a language perspective. So it's pretty robust in comparison to Chad. Okay. So that was the Revit integration. Now there is Firmus, which is AI plan check, AI match. Is there anything in here? No. So Firmus, we talked about that last time. That is their acquisition. So if you all remember, Bluebeam acquired Firmus. So Firmus will be fully integrated at some point into Revu. Not right now. It's going to be a step-by-step as they just acquired this, but most of it, I talked to Peter, if you were all on MCR Live, he said they'll keep the dashboard feature in a web-based application, but most of the actual technology in and of itself, like the AI match and all of that, will be part of Bluebeam. So the AI review, where we'll go through and do a comprehensive detection and all this stuff, the dashboard will stay in the web-based application, but anything that it's doing from an inspection point on the PDFs will just be built into Revu. That will be part of Max as well. And then there is the AI match feature, which will be able to, oh, wow. Sorry, hold on. Where's this voice coming from? Oh, it's so loud.
From inside.
I know. But yeah, so basically you have all of this will be built into Revu as well. So instead of using the document compare, the overlay command, you would be using an AI formation of matching your documents. So that will be built in. That will be part of Max as well.
Now, how is that better? Yeah. How is that better than just an overlay, like a document compare?
Because it has the ability to understand your data on the PDF and move your changes around, right? So it had like a stacking of the markups next to it, but we don't know yet.
Cool. What's that diagram where it's showing, it's pointing to that exterior sheathing? What does it say? Compare between different phases?
Yeah, it
All right.
says different phases compare unique details and different revisions to track how details evolve.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Then there's full set match. So this will be part of the Max tier. They also announced a tool that will be part of Max as well, which is called stitching. And that was really built around, from what I saw, the civil. So when you have a civil layout and they do their sheets, they have typically small sections of the roadway or corridors laid out, and they would actually in the field stitch them together, like tape them together so they could see the full run of the distance, right? Does that make sense? I'm kind of trying to depict it.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of having to do that where they literally tape PDFs together, you just create match lines and then it will stitch the whole PDF together for you on one big PDF in review. That will be part, and I'm surprised I didn't show that here because that was pretty cool.
Wait, what is this stitching? Is this for like blown up plans or something?
It's for like corridors, so I'll open up a review set. Typically, when you have a civil layout, you have like a small section of a corridor because that's all that fits on the sheet, right? And
Oh,
it
for
builds
civil.
up,
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha. Yeah.
for civil,
Okay.
and then it typically builds out from there. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So it's the
So,
same concept. If you had a bunch of blow up plans, like partial plans,
yep,
it could be the same concept in
yeah,
architectural
like
terms.
from an architectural term, if you wanted to have a large,
Yeah, connecting in large plans. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I guess I don't really have like a corridor. I just have a network there. But yeah, basically, if you had like this small section of road here, and then this one here, because it only fit on the sheet, and then this one down here, theoretic, right? Then you could stitch it all together. So in one big plan, it would show the entire plan. So that'll be part of Max. And then there's a magic wand tool. This has been heavily requested, and I realized that it comes with 3 different options in the magic wand tool. So one will be duplicate, where you can duplicate a markup. One will be offset, but it is also duplicating it because you do the duplicate command. And then one is going to be changing the markup. So this magic wand tool, essentially you could change a markup that's already in existing with the existing markup. Another example is they had spaces and you wanted to duplicate that into like a different measurement markup. That kind of is like a blend between the dynamic fill where you can literally make 4 different markups. So you would essentially, instead of having to do dynamic fill, you could click a space, change it into a perimeter or whatever you wanted to make it to. That would be the duplicate. Then you could offset it. So they showed like a plan that had an area, like a square footage, and they needed to do an offset. So if they had the perimeter or the area of the building, and then they needed to do a secondary offset, like that would be great for folks that do fencing estimates to understand the amount of fence required for a new build, right? And
When I think of
then,
magic wand, I will always think of Photoshop. Always.
yes,
Magic wand will forever belong to Photoshop in my head.
I've never used Magic Wand in Photoshop. What do you do with in
Oh,
Photoshop?
it's amazing, but it's an old tool. I mean, back when I used Photoshop, like back in the 1900s. But it was cool because like you could have a photo, and if you could select here and then paint over here like here, and where it was especially useful is if like you're editing a rendering, but not going back and pushing it out again, because pushing it out again could take, a full day. So you're just getting into Photoshop and editing it. In trees, like you could always say, okay, I can't fix this, so I'll just use the tree over here and magic wand some tree over here to hide what I can't fix.
Oh, because it's basically copying the existing thing.
Right. But you could do it with like feathered edges. So it was great with foliage, or like say you wanted to add brick over here. You can't, like if you do a copy paste, you can always see like the outline of where you copy pasted it, and it would look like tiled. You could do like the feathering version of the magic wand. You could paint some brick and it would look just like the brick over there. You know what I mean? So it was very good at like blending things together.
I'm gonna have to look at that. Get better at editing my photos.
Yeah, now you can probably just tell it, like, hey, AI, make it look like that.
Copy that. Okay, let's see. So do you guys know if Max will integrate MEP plans and ARC plans to detect problems? I don't know how that would work. I guess if you would like overlay it, but the match would be like clash detection, I'm assuming is what you're questioning. Why'd you move so far away, Matt? Oh, my screen's over here. That's why. Okay. I'm trying to read the chat at the same time. What else? I asked Usman and he said it shouldn't be too much more than complete. Cool, Liz. Great. Got some insight there. We're on a first name basis now. That's pretty big. 100%. Perks being the first. They said Q1. Yeah, we already know. Definitely Doug will be launched in Q1. Okay, scroll down. Is there anything more? You're hearing voices now? Yeah, it's definitely. Yep. Blending up match lines. I can see the stitching. Yeah, stitching is going to be huge. Yeah, kind of like a format painter. That's a magic wand. Got to bounce. See you all. Use magic wand. Okay, perfect. So those are
This comment made me laugh. It says, "Got to bounce. This architect gives 0 Fs that I had to watch MCRH Tuesday." When I first read it, I thought she was talking about me like ruining it. And then I'm like, oh, it's probably another architect drawing her away. But gotcha.
Okay, so that was from my knowledge. There's my safe harbor statement. From my notes taken at Unbound, there will be a new license tier called Bluebeam Max. Magic Wand, Stitching, Firmus, Revit Markup Link, Anthropic Integration will be all in that one. So if any of those piqued your interest in what they can do, then you will have to purchase Max when they release it. Okay.
The Revit thing is awesome.
See, you thought that was more awesome than I thought the AI agent was. I was more excited about this than I was about this. Tell me why, Matt.
Okay, yeah. I'm thinking about everyone, obviously, when you learn about new functionality, new products, you automatically relate it to your workflow, right? And what you do. We have a consulting leg and a production leg. So in our production projects, if we can get our customers to use this in redlining, think how awesome that's going to be. You know what I mean? If we could be pumping out production working drawings while the customers are just putting these comments right in, and I assume it'll still go back to the markups list where you can say complete and have a status and all that thing.
Yeah, there's a status right here. So in Revit, you could essentially change the status and it would push it over here to update it in the markups list.
Yeah. So obviously there'll be a learning curve to adoption for all of our customers. Yeah. The sooner they do that, the more seamless this process will be. And don't get me wrong, I like the AI piece too, but I just said AI. AI piece as well. But we always lean on Chad.
Yep. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I'm amped about automation. That's where I leaned more heavily on and didn't really think too much of this, which this is definitely a game changer from an integration standpoint. Yeah. Danny, I don't know why they didn't record Unbound. Okay, so perfect. Next, integrations. So we already talked about the Go Canvas integration. You'll have essentially a panel here that allows you to go through and sign in. We've already demonstrated that. We had Luis on from Bluebeam under the Go Canvas umbrella to demo this. This will be part of the forefront of the integration, and there is a special pricing to get access just to this part for Bluebeam users. The caveat being you will not be able to have the full power of Go Canvas, which is customizing forms, okay? What you will be able to do, though, is access this Go Canvas link with this cost. That's different than buying the base cost, okay? And you'll be able to use to create your form that you're going to use out in the field will be the one that my Teams thing goes away, will be this tool here. So if you want the integration, but you don't want to customize full spectrum of forms, meaning at Go Canvas's base, you have the ability to make whatever form you want. There's templates out there, but what you cannot do is if you are just using the task link subscription cost, you will only get this AI form, which means you upload I won't explain it. We'll just watch it. Okay, hold on.
They have a great logo, by the way. I'm a fan of it.
You like it? The infinity.
The Go Canvas one, yeah.
Yeah.
It's good on many levels.
They're slow, inconsistent, and a nightmare to manage. Meet AI Forms, the fastest way to take your field data collection from paper to digital. Just upload your existing PDF, and AI builds a mobile-friendly form in seconds. Tweak if needed, and hit publish, all without training. Now your field team can submit work straight from their phones, and you see it instantly. No missing info, no messy handwriting. Plus, submissions match your original PDF design, so reports are always consistent and client-ready. Skip the long and complicated setup. With AI Forms, you're one upload away from going paperless.
Thank you. So you will get the AI Forms. You won't be able to modify it. That will then allow you, go back and watch the integration if you haven't seen it on our channel, will allow you to essentially use this, which is the tasks, and you would upload your form that you needed to create it out in the field, and you'll be able to access the field app here on your phone to fill out that form. You get the AI form creation. You don't get all the other stuff that is included with Go Canvas. Okay, so that'll be a special tier cost, and it will be, if you own Bluebeam, it will be $108, okay, a year. So that is for the AI portion of that, okay? Perfect, okay. Next, let's see. New product updates. So folks that were using org admin, I wonder if they posted it yet. They probably didn't. But basically, we used to have a thing called Studio Prime, and it allowed you, I don't have access to, what was it? Bluebeam.studio.com, was it? Or was it Bluebeam? I don't know if this is, was that it? No. That's how long it's been since I've logged in. Oh, they changed it to prime.bluebeam.com. Okay. So what they are doing is everyone's going to have a new web browser, which you're not going to really notice it, to log into your org admin, right? Which is included in your license cost. There'll be a new tier that costs an additional pricing to get access to the start of what we would call data analytics and control. Well, not control over licenses, because you get that with the org admin. But essentially what you'll be able to do is everything that I was able to do in Studio Prime, which is gone, as you can tell. Well, it's here until December 31st. Basically, if I wanted to go into my sessions, so users that have sessions and I wanted to go and look at these sessions, even though I wasn't a part of the sessions, I could do that for projects and sessions. I have full control over all of my users' sessions and projects in infinity. Okay.
In
And
perpetuity.
also perpetuity. Thank you. I like that one better.
Favorite word.
Yeah. And also I can transfer ownership. I can see what's been uploaded. The other additional one, which I can't do here, which you will be able to do in the Pro, is the ability to go through and say you do not have access to Studio, you do not have access to the iOS app individually or as a company or as groups. So in order to get access to this, is not going to look like this. It's going to be in your org admin. It's not going to be, it'll be all in one place. This will be great for IT folks, especially in this world where you are encouraging people to use Studio and you're worried about what they're uploading, who's joining what sessions, especially from an outside perspective. You will need this. I will guarantee you that everyone will want this, especially in the world of data. Where does our data live? That will be an additional cost of $20 per user per year. Okay. So let's see.
So as employees are onboarded or leave the company, either way, that'd be a good way to bring them in or out too, right?
Yes, perfect. That is exactly. So like what happens is people will leave a company and they owned a studio session. And what you used to have to do is like email us or email Bluebeam and have the fun time of figuring out how to transfer ownership. No longer have to do that. Yeah, Org Admin Pro. Next up on the docket is, okay, yeah, we know that's going away. But is there a way to see the integration here? Probably not because I don't have it. They have a new integration with DocuSign. So in Bluebeam Cloud, you can upload a document that's requiring a signature and it will launch you into, there'll be like a little button here, right here, that will launch you into DocuSign's workflow. So now they integrated it with DocuSign. So for folks that were always using DocuSign but love Bluebeam markups, you could mark it up in Bluebeam, push that marked up document directly into DocuSign, and then when it's in DocuSign, it follows DocuSign's workflow, and then when it's done, it pushes it back into Bluebeam Cloud. So integrations.
Is there a Panda integration yet, or will there be?
No, I wish, right?
Okay. That would be awesome. Someday.
They showed it in a Bluebeam project. I don't see why it wouldn't be able to be in like documents, but yeah, they showed it in here from an integration standpoint. So like when you opened up the PDF, the integration essentially, I don't know if it was before or after, but essentially it was right here. You were able to select that and push it out to DocuSign. So for those folks using DocuSign, it wouldn't be in a session, right? Because a session wouldn't work, but I don't see why it would not possibly be able to be in documents or studio projects. Okay. That's the wrong list. And there is a better integration with Procore. So that was announced. If you haven't seen it, that was announced a way long ago. And I was confused because Procore already had an integration with Bluebeam, but Bluebeam did an integration with Procore this time. So basically what happened with that, from my knowledge, it was like the submittals or something that started with an S and I forget. It integrated only into that part of the workflow of Procore, pushing that PDF into a studio session. Now the integration that Bluebeam created is any PDFs in Procore can be marked up and pushed into Bluebeam to run a session. So it's broadening the reach of that capability. There's a lot of updates. I'm surprised we're gonna make it all the way to the end, right? This
is all awesome. I mean, obviously, I'm letting you talk the whole time. It was great.
Well, of course, ask any questions at any point. But that was the thing. I kept telling folks, like, this is no longer just a PDF solution. We're able to talk for more than an hour. I can keep going after this too, as well. There's still more, and I will. But I'm saying we have 15 minutes left. There is so much to this product and where it's going. It's no longer just a PDF solution, right?
So integrations with Procore, were there any suggestions of integrations with ACC?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, good. Actually, form of document management.
Yeah, the new name.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about org admin again with Studio Prime going away. Yep, these are all just my little notes, so we'll just move past those. Okay, so there's markup for mobile devices. So they keynoted this. If you are getting emailed something or you're looking at a PDF on your phone, you'll be able to select the PDF. Well, like you click it open, and you'll be able to use, essentially it's like an open integration between Bluebeam Cloud app. The iOS app is what they're going to rename that as. But essentially, you'll be able to mark it up. Oh, this is actually working. The large language model is working in here.
What's different?
You can search for anything buried in a PDF, like cloud markup.
No, how did that just show up and it wasn't there a while ago?
It wasn't there last week.
Oh. Okay.
So this is
I thought
the
it was
ability.
there just like a second ago. Okay, sorry.
Maybe it was. Maybe somebody just is listening in and turned it on for me. What do you think?
It got turned on, yeah. They hit the yes, no toggle.
This is the new natural language model, which we talked about, which I don't know if it's in here. It is.
Oh, did they enable the search for
here.
Conference attendees? There you go.
Maybe they. Oh, that's what it was, right? They turned it on. Maybe I don't remember. But okay, so this is now. I just said cloud, and it's searching through my MCR, and it will search all of. It'll look at like markups, metadata. It's looking for all of that, and then it'll bring up the list. So this is
what. Okay, that just blew my mind. Where is it looking? Was it looking in all of those sessions for all of ATG?
No. So this is just you. What project? I'm doing it from a project level. So in the MCR project, let's say you were looking for a project and you looking at a project and you stored everything you had in Studio Projects, like spec sheets, everything, right? What it will do is it will understand the data and it will go through and allow you to, in a natural language model, ask it things to look for, and it will bring you up those selections.
Wow. That's awesome.
So as it's going through, we'll move to that. What was I going to talk about? Well,
so you can
intelligent search is right down here.
Installation, and it'll go find where the installation is and all the projects that you're assigned to.
Not all the projects. It's in a project. So in that project, okay. Yeah. So it'll be like, if you said installation, it could be pertaining to a comment. So it'll show you a list of like markups that had installation part of it. It'll show you the PDFs that had installation a part of it. It'll show you the spec sheet that had installation a part of it. And it'll show you in an options, which one do you want to select? What you could do is say, search all the markups with that. So see how it has cloud? It shows you those with it.
Wow. I see this being incredibly helpful for like attorneys. Like, you know what I mean? Give me access to this data and then they could find incriminating evidence all over you. But
yes. You could also say like, look for all of the door, the files that have a door width of, I don't know, 30 inches, right?
That's cool. Super cool.
And it'll bring those up. But okay. This is where data is going to be very impactful. If you don't have the right data with the right information and you start using search things like this, right, you're going to have issues. Okay. So the markup for phone, back to that as we went on a tangent after I saw this natural language model enabled. The mobile phone, by the way, if you use it as a markup tool to send and mark up a PDF and re-email it to somebody, it doesn't actually upload the PDF into AWS server. Even though you're using the cloud app, it's just a path through. So be aware if somebody's emailing you a file on your phone and you're using the cloud tool add-in, So it's just you hold. I forget how you engage it, but it's just like you do like on an iPhone to like share an email out, right? Or share a photo out, whatever you use. When you go and hit that, it'll show the Bluebeam Cloud integration, and you can click that. It doesn't launch it into Bluebeam Cloud. It uses it as a, I don't know the term, so I'm not going to say it, but it'll allow you to mark it up, and then you can just say, go send it, email it back. So it doesn't actually push it into Bluebeam Cloud. So those folks that are worried, and I said this on MCR, well, you shouldn't be worried anyways because you were emailing it. Somebody emailed it to you. You know what I mean? So like, but yeah, just be aware of that. So that's the new markup for mobile phones. That's built through the cloud app. Am I missing anything in the projects? I mean, in the comments, Matt?
Oh, no, I just been listening to you. Super happy.
For everyone here, the code of the studio for the Unbound presentation. Awesome, Doug. Speaking of that, Doug, does anyone know if they're going to send out presentations to attendees like they have in the previous year? I have no idea. I believe so. One of the Bluebeam employees at the class entrances said we were sending class materials to everyone scanned in the session. That's cool. Bluebeam Communicate, early access, yep. Maybe understanding is that DocuSign integration. Cool, we covered that. The Procore thing, we're never the admins of the Procore, yep. Cool. Very similar office. We have a part 3 with Procore currently help us document control documents. Yeah, so again, it's just whoever, you can initiate a studio session for that Procore integration. We don't use Procore here, so I don't know how that will look in interface, but yeah. Didn't they enable the search in the conference attendees? I guess so, Isaac. I guess I have access to it. So here's the visual search or the natural language model search for all of you folks. What else did I miss? Which reminds me, I need to upload my finish. Yeah, the SharePoint integration works kind of like the through here, the DocuSign one.
Q1 for the Revit integration. That's big.
Yep. Q1 is when they're going to launch the pricing, and I'm assuming the full product itself versus it being that. Okay, so we talked about mobile. Intelligent search was one more. And then they also have the ARM built in from a development standpoint, which Peter went into it. I am not a solutions architect from an understanding of like how Windows is built. But he gave a very big overview of that, which was very intriguing. I definitely understood probably about 2% of it. But essentially, the architecture of Windows and how it was built is different now than what it used to be. Was it Windows? Yeah. And they made it even better. Or the ARM is like a mobile device processor. I don't know. You can look it up. They announced that pretty recently. But they also announced that at Unbound. That's it from my list. So we actually did make it to the time. Does anyone have any questions? I'll re-go through everything very briefly because what I'm going to do is I'm going to summarize this for some of our folks here internally. But basically you have Bluebeam Max is the newest product, not released yet until Q1 of next year. You have, and in that you have Magic, and there's no pricing. You have Magic Wand, Stitching, Firmus, Revit, Markup, Link, and Anthropic integration. Then you have new product updates overall. You have Org Admin Pro. That's an additional cost that allows you to manage studio sessions, projects, and in the future, you may or may not get analytics of like user data. You'll have to pay for that one. Markup on mobile phones. You have Intelligent Search is also an update, which is natural language model for searching files and metadata in projects. That will be in desktop and web. And then you have Bluebeam rolls into ARM. Okay. Then you have integrations. You have Go Canvas, which we talked about with Task Link into the Bluebeam product. You have DocuSign in Bluebeam Web only. And then you have the newest integration with Procore, which is like even more so than what it used to be. That's a lot. right? Matt's most excited about what?
The Revit integration. Yep. I just put together a one-sheeter for all these new Autodesk updates. You should do the same for Bluebeam. That way we can share our knowledge, our resources. Nothing better than being at the conference and hearing it firsthand, right? But
I agree. Yeah, hearing it firsthand was, and then I took a bunch of notes, which you know me, Matt, I typically don't, but I did. So
were those your notes we were just looking at? At the beginning when you typed them out? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I transcribed them into notes.
Cool.
Yeah,
love it.
So I turned these were from my notes. Obviously, I expanded upon them a little bit, but yeah, this isn't Chad helping me at all. This is literally me writing out notes.
Wow. So, OG.
I know this is the OG Michael, which is definitely not typical for going through and like making a note list. But yeah, that was more of me writing those out and giving some more value for my knowledge. Perfect.
Exciting
I think
stuff.
That's it.
So you got about 4 minutes to talk about Japan.
Yes, I was using a tiny marker. Jolie's here. But yeah, thank you all. We're not done yet. I'll give you a little capstone here. I will be out on sabbatical until November 10th, but MCR doesn't pick back up till November 11th because that's a Tuesday. Matt will actually be at President's Club here. He'll be enjoying a beverage on the beach that day we're back, which will roll into Jolie picking up the spot here on MCR. She is the new Bluebeam product manager here at ATG. We released that to all of you and talked to you all about that at Unbound. So that'll be that cadence, as well as be aware if you want to join me live from, no, I won't be live from Japan. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you just want to follow me, I'll be posting on LinkedIn. So follow me on LinkedIn. And also there'll be a post that's going to be posted right now in 3 minutes. I scheduled it. Please, I would love to hear from all of you. How has Bluebeam impacted you? There's 2 questions in there and I forgot what I wrote, but please answer them. If you have felt Bluebeam has impacted you in a positive way, and even if it hasn't, you can comment below. I'm fine with critiques. But I would love to hear more from all of you in the community on that platform. And then after that, I may reach out to all of you to maybe do a conversation around that as well. I totally missed the mark about doing that at Bluebeam. I even brought my I have my little microphones for filming YouTube, and I should have. I know, I missed the mark, Matt. I'm mad at myself. I forgot about it.
Bring it to Japan.
Yeah, bring it to Japan. With that, thank you all. If you have additional questions, feel free to reach out to us. Matt, any finishing comments about what you just saw or anything altogether?
No, I'm excited. I always get excited about these roadmap concepts. It gets you pumped. And so then it's coming and it's fun to share those with customers and people like this community.
Yes.
It's that excitement that Michael and I had that keeps us going every day. Like we show up and we're like, I'm pumped today. And it's usually about something that's coming. And it's just, that's what makes life fun. So yeah, good stuff. Thanks for sharing that today.
Of course. It's that energizing excitement, right? I know I felt it from you when you came back from yours. Yes. And then I was like buzzing around the office yesterday. I mean, I was even buzzing at the conference. I remember I saw Liz and she's like, oh, too much energy. I'm like, this is awesome.
Love it. Love it.
Yes, it was awesome. But again, as always, we appreciate every single one of you. We will be on a break. We will all be on the sabbatical with me in Japan. I will be posting when I can. But again, we appreciate every single one of you. And we'll see you all on November 11th.
Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of the other content on our channel.